สัมมาสัมพุทโธภควาพุทธังภควันตังอภิวาเทมิสวาคาโตภควตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนะมามิท่านธัมมยังพุทธัสสะภควโตโอปภาคณมการังกโรมะเสนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะI would like to welcome everyone to the first video of this 8-week course. In this course, we will mostly focus on the key principle, the core teaching of the Buddha. It's a teaching that once you know about it, understand the deeper meaning behind it, you'll not only be able to understand more of yourself, how you feel, how people, things, animals behave, but also society in general. The key of this 8-week course will be on how we can understand more about ourselves, how we can help manage all the troubles that we have in our daily life, and also how to maintain this spiritual journey as we go home, or as you guys are at home right now, dealing with friends, family, works, and all your personal lives. In this 8-week course, we are going to go over lessons, techniques, understanding that will help you to achieve 3 things. Number 1, to be able to understand Buddhism more generally, and as we go along the 8 weeks, more in depth of what is the key principle and what's the core of Buddhism. Secondly, to help you explain the phenomenon that happened to yourself, your friends, your family, and anyone around you, of why is it that sometimes, even though we try to escape from suffering, it's always going to be something that we are missing that doesn't really free ourselves from those suffering that we face in our daily lives. And finally, the third thing of how can we become the master of ourselves, so that we can every day work toward the life that we want, to be the person that we want to be. And to start off that, we have to look back at what happened more than 2,500 years ago, and study a life in brief of the Buddha, of what in his 45 years tenure as a teacher did he do that create a rippling effect that lasts until this very day. Some of you might be familiar with his work, but for those who don't, the Buddha, for his entire lifetime, especially after he became enlightened, traveled around India to do 2 things: to meet with people and to unlock them. It's a new vocabulary, but unlocking people basically means to help them move from one state or one version of themselves to the next one, the next one, the next one. It can be helping people from a bad place that they are to a better one, or to move from a great place to an even greater one. But he doesn't do that. He do more than that. He unlock people not to have a good life, a great life, but rather an amazing life where it is truly beautiful, amazing, astonishing in the beginning, middle to the very end. And this is what we are going to learn. And not only that, but to help ourselves liberate. This term is being thrown around in Buddhism quite often, and may be synonymous with Buddhism itself. But liberate from what? From who? And why do we need liberating? Aren't our life already comfortable? Already nice? If you look at people around you, they seem like they don't suffer a lot. And some people, they say they don't. So for those people, and for me, for us, in the past, we say we don't need any of this. We're already happy in our life. And that's true. But it will not always be like this. Or rather, there'll be times where you'll have to go through agonies in life that really clenches your heart. And in those troubled times, in those dark times, you wish that you are capable or wise enough to escape from this place, this environment, this feeling that you have, this pain, this suffering. Humans are plagued with the need to fulfill their desire and their wants. Humanity moves forward because of these two things. We might say that we wake up every day to go out, go work for our friends, our family, ourselves. We try really hard for our passion, our goal, our dreams, our ideals. But all these things are basically our wants, our desire, where many of them are categorized under wants, one-dimensional. We want to go eat, go swim, go travel, go here, go there, where it is way easier to accomplish compared to desire. Desire is something more three-dimensional, so to speak, where it is a lifestyle, an ideal, an idea that you want to be in, a state that you want to achieve. No matter what those are, what those ideal, those want may be, but it comes under these three keywords. It's happiness, success, and fulfillment. We find that those who are happy, they still complain that, yes, sure, I'm happy right now, but I can't achieve anything. No matter I can't follow through with my word, I can't complete whatever I started off, or I can't manifest what I think. I can't make it, I can't, bring it out from here out to the outside world. Some people, they find accomplishment everywhere. No matter what they do, they're able to find success, but they don't feel happy. Right? Although they are quite skilled in their craft, but it doesn't find them happiness. For some, they're happy, they can do whatever they want, they find achievement in it, but for some, they find happiness, find success, everything they do magically turns into success, and they get praises, accolade, recognition, money, wealth, everything, but empty inside. In their 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe in 60s, 70s, they say that, man, I'm still missing something. I have a wonderful husband, wonderful wife, family, or they love their life being alone. They have a great career, they have great stories to tell, but something missing because of fulfillment. And they don't have that fulfillment, that factor, that complete entire pie. So it's this three things that people are always striving forward to. And one of the ways that we go about doing so is through our five senses, which is, come to think about it, like, duh, because we only have these five senses to interact with the outside world. Our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body touch. The sixth one is our mind, to feel. And it's through these senses that we find simple happiness, that we love to do so, and that people look forward to do, or people reminisce when they are suffering inside or outside. Man, maybe I could go to a beach, go travel, go for a drink, listen to amazing music, go to fulfill my sensual pleasure, and whatever those may be. It's quite rare to attain those happiness and fulfillment through the five senses without giving up something for it, like money, for example. That's why most people look forward for the end of the month, maybe when they get their salary, to plan a vacation or two, to plan a hangout, a night out, to plan a feast, a travel, whatever it is, or to buy something for themselves for the hard work that they have done. But it's this expense that requires them to go to do something, to make a living, to find that money to feed themselves. And they find that they have to not only grind through work, but refresh or find new things to satisfy them. in whatever they see, they smell, they taste, they touch, or whatever they feel. Always try to find a better one, where they think they find the one, but over time, you know, be it sooner or later, they have to let go of that because they're bored of it, find a new one. Or the thing that they love so much bring them, sure, happiness, but to a ceiling. Like, it doesn't go beyond that one. They have to keep on finding a better one. For some people, when they look back in their life, the image they see might mimic what they post on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever social platform that you interact with. Where it's all bright, shiny, happy, but fail to remember the everyday that they have to wake up, go to work, go through daily disturbances. There's stress, anxiety, shame, guilt, feeling oppressed, tired, restless, afraid, frightened, feeling silly, chaotic, bored, feeling pain, pressure, already. Or all those negative feelings that you can't escape from by yourself, maybe. But you know that as long as you're able to have access to all those sensual pleasures, comfort food, comfort music, friends, family, and whatever those things that you find refuge in, as long as those things are able to quench the daily troubles, you're fine. As long as you have enough money, food on the table, roof over your head, you feel you're safe. But as we go along, or even many of us here have been through it before, the time bombs that is waiting to explode, the ones that you face or you feel the effect of when you are met with severe accidents, disasters, illness, diseases, the one that you met when you have your heart broken or being torn apart because your loved ones pass away or you have to pass away from them, moving away abroad, having long distant relationships, or whatever those may be. Feeling like your life have no meaning because no matter what you do, you are met with failures, not able to accomplish anything at all. Having your hope and dreams fade away because of unfathomable disappointment from people, things, animal. Have all your savings, everything that you built, or the kingdom that you built for yourself, taken away because you're bankrupt. Everything taken away from you. All these feelings in those times, no matter what you do, you can't take away the ache, the suffering, a feeling that is difficult to endure. And in those times, many of us feel like we want to not live anymore. And some, unfortunately, chose that path. And these are the things that we have to face every single day. When you listen to these stories, you might remember yourself in one of those scenarios, feeling stressed, guilt, shame, anxious, not knowing what to do, having no goal in life. All that aside, you still have to face with daily problems. Your personal life, your work life, your love life, doesn't matter what kind of life that or aspect of your life that you're dealing with, it's always come with problems. Also, obstacles too. Now, these two things are what hinder us from moving forward. We find that we have problems because we couldn't answer them. We don't know what to do because of not knowing, including the fact that you don't know that you don't know. Some of us might be in trouble, but we have no idea unless someone from outside to point it out for us. We might have a problematic behavior, speech, thought, but we don't know because we don't know until someone reminds us so. Many of us here might know what your problems are, but couldn't, because you don't have the strength, the capability, the proficiency to overcome them. And that's what's plaguing us every single day. So therefore, we see that with this reality, although life, again, is not bleak, life is amazing. When you travel, when you go read a wonderful book, have wonderful conversation, having those cherishing moments in your life, life is truly wonderful. And that's true. But at the same time, the opposite is also true. when you look at life unbiased, we are able to feel, to cherish the wonderfulness, but to also remind ourselves of the not so wonderful aspect of life too. And it is those things that we want to tackle today, or for the entire 8 weeks. How do we deal with that? Some of us doesn't have to care too much because we are lucky, fortunate, privileged maybe, that our life are easy, educated, have amazing complexities that society accepts, fortune, resources that can be utilized by yourself. For these people, they just want a better life. They find that they're happy, but I want to be happier too. But for many, they know that their life is not so good. They just want to escape. Anything possible for them to just remove from them from this jail that they're in, inside or outside, and they just want to be liberated. But they don't know, liberate from what? What's stopping me from moving forward? And what is the cause that give me my daily disturbances, my daily doses of stress, anxiety, guilt, shame, lust, anger, fed up, annoyance, having discomfort, having chaotic mind, diluted mind, confusion, weariness, all these feelings. And how can I not have my life crumble in front of me when the time bombs that will go off eventually does go off? How could I deal with being separated from my loved ones? How do I heal illness, diseases, prevent myself from accidents, disasters, recover back from bankruptcy, life of failures, and so on and so forth? These are the questions that we're going to answer and find the cause of it. Which is why the premise of this class is precisely that. These three things. Pollution, the thing that causes the daily disturbances and the time bombs in our life. Second thing are problems, because we don't know. We don't know what we don't know, and we don't know what to do about it. And lastly, our inability to solve or to overcome obstacles, because we don't have the strength. We are locked, we're in prison, don't know how to remove ourselves away from it. And to do so, we look back in Buddhist scripture to see what are the set of tools, wisdom, knowledges do we need to escape, to liberate, to get a better life. And we found ourselves with 6 different fears, or 6 different tools. One which is own property, that does its thing, that will help you move forward step by step toward liberation. And these 6 fears is what humanity uses every single day, you too, without realizing it. Now we're gonna use that as our framework for the next 8 weeks to better understand them and how to best utilize them. We won't study or cover everything that there is to cover, but rather the key thing that is under this umbrella, this 6 sphere framework, so that every week you're gonna learn about them, more about them, and more in depth about them. Just like how we go to school, right? In your first grade, you learn the basic stuff. As you take the exam, you study, take the exam, you go to second grade, where you're learning the same thing but in more details, in new perspective. You study about them, take exam, go to a third grade, learn about the same thing again, but maybe broader, maybe in a different angle, different application, different meaning behind it. And we do this again and again, from elementary to secondary until we graduate high school, right? And that's how the 8 weeks gonna work. Same thing, but more in depth every time we do so. So that all of you can have all these concepts hammered in, and also be able to utilize it week by week. Now we're gonna go slow but in depth. Alright. Let's start off with what are these 6 fears. Let me introduce them to you. These 6 fears are basically a system. System are a bunch of processes that bring you toward a goal. And the goal here is liberation. And these are 6 different modules, basically, a process that you go through, that everyone goes through to level up. So in this 8-week course, I'm gonna try to use English words, but I'm gonna sprinkle in Pali words too, because it's the name that you have to know, so that as we go deeper, you won't get confused, because in English, the language is quite limited. But in Pali, when we use the name, it's like calling out people's name. For me, I'm Longpi Jimmy, so you won't get mixed up with my description. You will say, oh, it's this person with shaved head, wearing orange, but that could mean anyone that's a monk. But if you say, oh, that's Longpi Jimmy, then oh, it's this person, no one else. Right? So we're gonna learn their names, what are their benefits, what is their use case, and how can we utilize them. Right. So the 6 spheres, what are they? The first one, we call it the Dhamma sphere. To understand the 6 spheres, I'm gonna explain to you few stories. Imagine yourself back in 6th grade. Now maybe some of us remember those times fondly. Some of us, me included, not so much. But regardless, we're gonna learn how humanity works from this small example here. Let's say I'm in my 6th grade. I'm being bullied by my peers in the 7th grade, the superior one. So I want to escape from this level to the next one. I want to be the 7th grader, not the bigger guys. So what do? I find myself having a goal, first and foremost. One have to have a goal first. The goal, a vision, an intent to liberate oneself from one state to the next. With that, the process start to begin. When one have a goal, a system is put in place for that person to go through. Process 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth, until they achieve their intended goal. So because I want to escape 6th grade and to be a superior, much more superior 7th grade, I have to look back at myself. First off, I have the right view, knowing that right now in this school, this environment, I'm living in a toolbox, meaning that everything around me, be it human, things, animal, are resources for me to use. Those things, those people, those animals are tools that I can use to help me escape. My teachers, my friend, my family, my parents, those are people with wisdom, with skills, capability for me to utilize from. Library, online, Google, all these resources for me to use. So that is what the first sphere is, the Dhamma sphere. Dhamma, in this context, means tools. Dhamma sphere, or this toolbox we call Dhamma, is a toolbox that holds everything inside, every resources inside, including the other 5 spheres that we're gonna study. So it's like a big toolbox that everything is inside on. Or the analogy that I like to use is like a Russian nesting doll, where this is the most outer shell and everything rests inside it. So now that I realize that there are so many things I can do, what should I do next? Then we look back at ourselves when we're in school. There are only 3 types of students there. There are the ones we call the nerds, but those are the best kind of people who always give their best, their all in their studies. They want to improve themselves. They want to become the one who's wise, who's capable. Those guys, they have their priorities straight. They just want the best, the most out of their time in school. When they go home, they enjoy themselves, they enjoy their hobbies, their friends, their family. But in school, they are always being productive, elevating themselves. They are the guys in the opposite end of the spectrum. Those guys are, you know who I'm talking about. The guys that not only that they don't study, but they do even worse than that. Now they disrupt other people, disrupt themselves. They go involve themselves in things that they shouldn't do, that directly and indirectly hinders them from learning, from growing, from improving who they are. Now those people, they sit at the back sometimes, most of the time. And we see that there are many who are in between. They take out their phone, they study, sure, but don't study sometime. They're just a mixed bag. Now those who are able to live by day and pass with not flying colors, but something that they can feel like, you know what, I've survived this great. Three type. So to achieve the best possible, to have the best possible chance of liberating, I must change who I am normally first. That's why the second sphere is called the sphere of sila or precept or normality. If I'm someone who's on this end of the spectrum where I hinder myself and other people, there's no way I'm going to be liberated. Similarly, if I'm stagnated, not giving my all, not just wasting my time every day, sure, I might be liberated, but to what degree? Can I even pass the exam? I'm not sure. Have to ponder at the end of this. Have to ponder after I take the exam. But if I embody someone just like those people who give it their all, have the right prioritization to work every day, to understand what they need to understand, to go forth to take advantage of these resources to be constructive, productive, then I can have hope that I can pass the exam. And that's why I need to change my normality first. Yeah. So when you change who you are or your nature of yourself, then you have time to concentrate on the right thing. Yeah. That's why the third sphere is called samadhi or concentration. And we have Dhamma sphere, Sila sphere, now we have samadhi, means concentration. For those who are destructive to themselves, they are going to concentrate on things that will bring about destruction, 100%. Partying, drinking alcohol, smoking, or whatever things that they involve in, like playing games or whatever that distract them. For those who are stagnant, they're gonna focus on things that bring about stagnation, watching movies, wasting time here and there. Not to say that you don't need to have a fun life, but in moderation. But these guys, that is the bulk of their concentration. They don't mess with destructive things, but they also don't study too much. But for those with a good nature, good normality, their concentration gonna be on productive things. Studying, talking to professors, asking questions, researching, everything that will help them pass the grade, pass the exam. And when they concentrate in all those positive things, they gain wisdom. Every day they learn, they grow, they improve, they become wiser and wiser. Every day more confident that they can pass the exam, but not right away. They have to keep on going through these sila, samadhi, panya or wisdom. Now the fourth one, panya, wisdom. To keep on going through this, every day waking up, making sure that they are the one who gonna be productive, actually concentrate on being productive and learning things. Going through these three cycles again and again and again for months and months and months until the end of the term where they have to take the exam. This is where, for those who have been practicing since day one, they will know that I'm ready. They will know that they're ready, no questions asked. Because this cycle of improvement have propelled them toward a place where they can start the process of liberation, meaning taking the exam. This is where the fifth spheres come in, vimutti, or liberation. This is where we go into the exam room and write that exam. This is a process of liberation, actually doing it. Hours or two might pass, or the entire day for the school. Then we come out of the exam room and we wait. We wait for what? We wait for vimutti jnana tasana, or the fruit of liberation. After a week or two pass by, we get our grades back and we open our report card and we see, oh, we have passed. With flying colors, in fact. Now, what do you gain? First off, happiness, fulfillment, success. Everything that you look forward to, you gain because of liberation. You are feeling the rapture, the happiness, the fulfillment due to liberating due to taking the exam, of the hard work being fruitful. Not only that, but you gain a new life. Now you are no longer a second-class citizen living in 6th grade, but rather a high-class person in 7th grade, who have access to new resources, new learning, new teaching, new social group, new respect, new prestigious, everything new, like being reborn again in 7th grade. And that's the process that everyone goes through in their life. These 6 different spheres: Dhamma, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, Vimutti, Yanatasana, or toolbox that we live in, changing our normality, our precept, concentrating on the right thing that will help us improve every day, learning things, so that we can be wise enough to be at the place where we can actually start liberating. We have to go through this motion of normality, concentration, wisdom, every day, until one day we feel like we are full, we are ready. Then we start the process of liberation. Once finished, you gain new life. Liberated, you know that you have overcome it, you have become new person, new accomplishment, everything new. This is what we're gonna study about in this 8 weeks. So, we look back at ourselves and see who we are. Who are we normally? What's our normality then? Because all the resources are already all around us. Some of you guys might be fortunate than other people, but at least we have some access to something. But are we the type of person who have the normality to do so or not? That's why in this first class we're going to talk about normality of precept. In Buddhism, you guys might have heard, we have something called the 5 precepts. These 5 precepts, people say, are rules, are regulation, are our moral, ethical code that Buddhists live by. Sure, and those might be the correct answer, but a beginner answer. But at least it will help us not find trouble within ourselves. And that is what we're going to look for today, of who we are normally. This will be a good starting point that will help you maintain in a good normality, to be what we call in Thai pan or plate, or a foundation you stand on, so that it will then be ready, be strong enough to receive, to hold what's to come in the next lesson and the following 8 weeks. So we're going to look back at who we are normally and our precept first. So in Buddhism, you might know that there are these 5 precepts or 5 code of conduct that Buddhists grade themselves and other people by. This is our kind of like a gauge, a standard, so to speak, that we measure ourselves on. And it's a standard that is widely accepted around the world. If you look at every culture, every code of law, every norms and humanity's common sense of what good people is like, these 5 things are the basis of it. Some place write it down in different languages, some place try to encapsulate what it is, and many of our laws and regulation kind of like branches out from these 5 things. So to recap for those who don't know, the 5 precepts includes: number 1, no killing or harming any other being, including yourself. This is to help you make sure that your intellect, or rather your physical body, is not used to harm other people, including yourself. This is a normality of a person who rejects destruction, rejects degradation, rejects suffering, unwholesomeness. So look back at ourselves. Our physical conduct in subscribe to that idea or not, or that characteristic or not? If so, how much, how little? Be truthful to yourself. When we know who we are in reality, then we're going to have that motivation, that urge to want to improve ourselves. So transparency and truthfulness is required here. Second one talks about our verbal conduct. Are we someone who love to lie, to not be truthful, to be someone who say things that hurt yourself and other people or not, to be someone who uses their word, their wisdom, to spark a fight, or to stab someone in the back using their words, or to bring people down. First one, we talk about our physical conduct. Now we're gonna talk about our verbal conduct. Are we someone who subscribe to destruction, unwholesomeness, degradation, suffering or not through our speech? Be truthful to yourself. The third one talks about living harmoniously in society. That's why it's about sexual misconduct. Are we someone who are creating chaos, heartbrokenness, disheartedness in yourself and other people or not due to your sensual desire? This what gonna, the key thing of this is having a peace of mind that your spouse, your loved ones, or their peace of mind that you are not gonna cheat on them, that there's nothing gonna happen when you're not together, or the meaning behind every word that they say, every action they do is not, there's nothing hidden behind it because you don't trust them, right? And this is something that, this peace of mind is what everyone wants from their love life. So therefore, we have to be that someone first and foremost. So be careful of your conduct to yourself and other people too. It's a peace of mind that will help you live every day happily. The fourth one is about stealing. Oops, I switched between the second and the fourth, sorry, but the second, which is the fourth one now, is about stealing. It's again being mindful of physical conduct, to not take what is not ours. It's as simple as that, because that will then bring about worry for yourself, having to look behind your back every so often that are you caught? Have someone figure out that you took something from them or whatever it is. It's this peace of mind for yourself and other people too, that they don't feel suffering, don't feel the pain caused by you too. And lastly, the fifth and final one, the one that for many of us we might have a hard time swallowing because we have yet to feel the effect of it. It's about intoxication, including smoking, cigarettes, drinking, any kind of substance abuse, and recreational uses like weed, shrooms, and any of other those kind of substance. Why is that? It's because number one, it takes away control, not control over yourself, to make sure that the prior four things are kept in check. Number two, it degrades who you are. When your consciousness is low, control decreases. From someone who doesn't hurt. From someone who is mindful of his or her speech, no longer become mindful of that. For someone who is shameful in their love conduct, no longer feel shameful anymore. For someone who respect other people's items, things, people, animal, no longer respect those. And not only that, but time and time again, study shows that if we intake bad substances, it will eventually degrade your body afterwards. And we know full well that once our physical body is not healthy, it's very difficult for your mentality, for your mental to be healthy too. Try being lively when you're stressed. Try being alert when you are with a cold. And try to have a positive outlook when you just fall down the stairs, for example. Right? So therefore, to aid our mental health, physical health must have some sort of priority in our life. Right? So this 5 precept will help you kind of like take care of issues, suffering that you might not know are the you might not know that comes from breaking the 5 precepts. So in this first week and throughout the entire class, we're gonna focus on our normality, right? To make sure that the suffering that we face, the guilt, the shame, the anxiety, the the worrying mind, the not having peace of mind, or the bodily degradation are taken care of partly because you are holding the 5 precepts. So therefore, this will help bring you in good shape, both physically and mentally, so that you can prepare for deeper wisdom, deeper guidances, so that you can improve yourself. All right. This is the conclusion of our first lesson. Thank you very much for listening, and please ask question. This might be a recording, but I'm here live all the time. You can chat with me through WhatsApp. I'll try to answer all questions, or we're gonna have one-on-ones and Q&A sessions. So therefore, keep this question coming. Write down. Don't make sure that you write down right now, or else you'll forget it. Right? So thank you very much, everyone, for listening, and I hope that you have a wonderful day.